So we'll just want to give us a little bit of an overview on how we do our reception. And in this case, I'm just going to refresh us how we get documents from Unifield. In this case, you can imagine you're in the project instance. Of course, the two of you have Unifield installed. And you have a request from an end user who wants to receive some items in their location. You create an internal request. You go into the you're given an internal request paper. You go into the system. You transfer that information into Unifield, the internal request, and you continue and validate the internal request because it's already been validated in paper in the request form. Once you validate it, you navigate to the order sourcing tool where you can source the lines. You can decide to source the lines from stock. You can and once you do that, a delivery out is created automatically in the system because Unifield remembers that this request came from a customer location, so a consumption unit. So it knows I have to deliver the items. So it creates an out in the system. And for the items that need to be sent, you need to purchase. In this case, let's say we decide to choose Coordination as our supplier. We go and we select on order and we create a purchase order. And in this purchase order, we are going to say that we're going to have Coordination as a supplier. The moment we create this purchase order in the system, an incoming shipment is created. Of course, once we have confirmed it, an incoming shipment is created. And then after synchronization, Coordination will get the field order on their end. Once Coordination gets a field order, they proceed to the order sourcing tool to validate it and then go to the order sourcing tool. And after they reach the order sourcing tool, they can also decide on their end to get it from stock, or they can decide to get it from a PO. Once they decide that they're getting it from stock, a picking ticket is created. This picking ticket is linked to the PO, to the field order that was created in Coordination, because it knows that I need to deliver these items back to the project. I have a field order in my instance, and I need to wait for the items to be delivered so that I can send it back to the project, or take the items from my stock and send it to the project. In the order sourcing tool, you can also decide to take the option of procurement method of saying on order, and in that case, you'll get a purchase order created. Of course, once you confirm your purchase order, you have an incoming shipment that is generated. And after that, you have your picking. Everything will be moved. So the items that were in stock will be moved to the picking location, and the items that you receive in your warehouse in the incoming shipment, after you process it, it will be moved to the picking location. So these are all cross-docking areas. These are all cross-docking locations because it is not, these are not items that are going to sit in your warehouse, but these are items that are going to go to the end user. In our case, is a project. So we have our picking, and picking is just the exercise or the process of taking things from the shelves and putting them in the packing location. And once you have it in the packing location, of course you put the things in the boxes, and you decide what is the weight of the box. And in some missions, we have already, we also have our own boxes, and we have like predefined sizes of boxes, which we can also encode this information in Unifield. And we pack them in the boxes with the dimensions that we have in Unifield, or the ones that we, or if we don't have the dimensions, we can also skip putting that in the system. And then after we pack our items, we ship the lines. They ship the goods. So the shipment, after you've validated your shipment, what happens is that when you synchronize, an incoming shipment is created on the project at the incoming shipment that was already in the project side changes to available shipped. So this process of doing the pick pack ship normally, as we've experienced, can take some considerable time to do. Especially when you have big orders, and if you are a coordination that does a lot of local purchasing for the project. So we have some coordinations which do also, they procure like medical items in their missions with local suppliers. So if you have a very big order that came from the project, it sometimes is a very long process to do the pick, pack, and ship. So what we have now is actually an improvement in the system that is going to help us skip this point here. We import electronic packing list during the incoming shipment process that helps us jump the pick pack, and we just go straight into the shipment. And then we can process the shipment, and goods are after synchronization, the goods will be reflecting, the lines will be reflecting as available shipped in the project location. So we're going to look in the incoming shipment application, and I'm going to show you how you can import this packing list from this end, and how you can import it, and how this is translated in the packing list. Okay. Anybody has a question so far on the demonstration of the normal process that we have? Okay, so what's going to come with the new incoming shipment is just what I've mentioned, is that we are now, we're going to use an import file. It doesn't oblige you to use the import file, but you have the possibility of importing into the incoming shipment an electronic packing list that has already the defined packing details of your shipment. So how many boxes are we talking about? What is the dimension? What is the weight? What is the volume? And you can do this already in the incoming shipment. And as I said, it really just helps us skip the pick and the pack process in Unifield and go straight to the shipment area. But this is only possible for shipments that are linked with field orders. Orders that Unifield knows have to go through the pick pack ship. So this pick pack ship area is what we want to show you how to make it much easier. And normally we do the pick pack ship when we have a field order. Okay, so this is what you will see. So you'll have the incoming shipment. This is just an incoming shipment window. Once you say when you access it by going to the warehouse, and then you have incoming shipment. Once you click process, we normally have this window. And in this window is where we put the quantity of what needs to be processed. We save the line, and then we come at the bottom and say process. So now there's one extra button that has been added, which is import incoming shipment, process incoming shipment, and pick and pack. So this wasn't there before. Before we used to have just the copy all, clear all, and import incoming shipment. And also one thing to say, it's not only for items that are coming from APU, but also from external suppliers. It's possible to import electronic packing lists. So now we have this extra button, import IN, process IN, and pick pack ship. Once you click that button, you navigate into a simulation window. So the pick pack which has the pick pack mode. And what information do you get? You have your incoming shipment information, and it has a link, of course, with your PO, the one that you are that generated this incoming shipment. Of course, the origin is also the field order. And you have this section here where now you can import your electronic packing list. You have two types of files. It can be Excel or XML, but with this import is XML. And you have this section where now you can add the attachment of the file. Once you've uploaded, you've added the attachment, and you simulate by clicking this button here. If your packing list file had errors, you will see the errors that have occurred. So you see what kind of error you have received. And those errors, if you've had any errors, they're going to appear in the details tab here. So here in the details tab is where you will see if there are errors here, you will find the errors here in the details tab. Even if you've imported your file successfully, you'll still be able to navigate to the details tab here and confirm if the import is correct in this form. And then you have origin, value, and imported values, but essentially it's just the same. It's the same thing that if you're getting it from APU, they will give you the details of the freight number, and they will give you the details of the transport mode in the importation file. So it will just appear here automatically. You don't have to fill it in. Once you attach your item and you simulate it, the details or the messages that came from APU are going to appear in these fields. So it's more like the international importation, the international orders the international orders importation screen that we have when we're doing with APU. Okay. So review the details first before you proceed to simulate. And once you've done the once you have imported the files, you can come and then and process the details now in your incoming shipment. But before we go to the what it looks like in Unifield, here is an example of the Excel or XML import file that you can receive from APU. So you have the details of the freight, and you can see this one, the transport mode is C. So if this C was here indicated also transport mode C, it would appear in your Unifield in this area here. In fact, in the imported value, so here. And it will take, of course, the reference of the PO, the original FOA it's linked to, which supplier we're talking about. If APU had a message they wanted to send to you, that message that they will put here is what will appear here in the ESC message area in Unifield. So it will appear on the ESC message area here. And you have then this where you can modify the file. This file, XML file, you can get it also from Unifield. So I'll show you how to extract it from Unifield. Like most files in Unifield, you can just save it from the system, and then you can edit it and import it yourself. In the case that if you want to have an electronic packing list from your own supplier, you can do something like that. The areas in the orange you will need to fill in. Do not modify anything like adding an extra color. The import file will refuse to import, because if it comes from APU, you don't need to do anything. You just need to import it. APU has also been Oracle has been modified, so you should be able to get these files from your Opal. So in the case that you have an external supplier that you want to do an electronic packing list for the incoming shipment, you come and then you modify the quantities. What's the quantity of parcels you're talking about? And you can see here we have 4 parcels, and for this item we have from parcel 1 to parcel 4. And then you can see from parcel 5 to parcel 6 we have the same item but in a different box. because here's 40,000 and here we have 20,000, and that's the total quantity of this line is 2. For the third box, it's actually just one box because everything is from box 7. Everything is in box 7. And you write total quantity is 1. And the third one, the fourth box is similar to the other one, is just one box, and you write 1 here from 8 to 8. You encode the weight. You can encode the volume. It's not mandatory, but you can encode the weight, the height, the length, and the width. But you can also leave it just like that if you're creating it for an external supplier. If the item has it's a batch number and expiry date managed, you have to encode it here. Otherwise, the file will refuse to import. It will give you an error, batch number and expiry date required for this line. Once you get it from Unifield, it's protected, so it doesn't allow you to modify it, but you need to go to the Excel settings and click on protect the file. You save it on your machine, and then you can come and finalize it, and then you can import it into Unifield. You still need to follow the same packing rules as what we have done before. If all the boxes contain the same items, it's possible to create a sequence, meaning that you can go from like box 1 to 3 over several parcels. But if the content is different, both in nature and quantity, then you have to put the specific item. You have to say, you have to put the specific quantity of each item. You have to encode separately. You have to create a unique parcel sequence. By that, let me give you an example. Let's say you have 500 paracetamols that you have in a box and 500 more to share the same box with syringe. Each box will need to indicate the exact number of paracetamol and syringes. And the sequence cannot be paracetamol box 1, box 1 to 2. No, each separate box will need to have specific number, 1 to 1, then 2 to 2. It's just how we were doing it in Unifield. But when you receive the boxes, sorry, you have a question. When we receive boxes from APU, the box numbers are 4 digits. The orange number, which is the box number, are 4 digits. And I thought Unifield does not accept box number that do not start from 1. How can we forward it to the project with the same orange numbers? So what I've said is APU. This is actually what I'm showing you right now is not an extract from Unifield. This is just an extract from how it looks like in APU. So they have modified Oracle to now push for you files that are possible to import in Unifield without errors. Okay, if you've done your importation, what will happen then? You will just process it, and then of course, Unifield gives you a message that your reception is closed, your picking ticket has been picked and is closed, your packing list is processed and closed, and you have your shipment that is ready. It really just skips you straight to the shipment area. And I know there are many people who are very happy about this. It's saving us a lot of time. Your shipment document will always be ready because it doesn't know how many orders you want to send to the project. So you'll always have this mother shipment document in the shipment area that is going to be just like it'll be like a basket waiting for you to put as many packings inside, as many packings inside as you have for a specific client, a specific customer. Any questions? I'd like us to jump into Unifield. I will go straight to warehouse. I will show you 2 ways. We're going to do one with just an external supplier, and then we'll do one with APU. And we're going to start first with an external supplier. As I mentioned, these have to be linked to an FO. To open that, click Process. And this is the screen I was talking to you about. It's just a normal screen that we have when we're doing our process, our normal incoming shipment process. But in this case, we have an extra button that appears, and this button is saying import incoming shipment, process incoming shipment, and pick and pack. That's what I want to click. Then it navigates me to the simulation screen, but look at this simulation screen. It's a pick and pack mode. If you make a mistake, I want to go back again. If you make this mistake, I'll come back again to clicking process. If you click import incoming shipment and not the other one, it will just import your file. Then you have to go to the picking and do the packing, and then you go to the shipment. If you want to skip the pick and the pack, you click this other one. I hope that's clear. Let's click this one because I want the pick and pack mode. So we have our incoming shipment and we have our purchase order, and here is where you need to import the file. But this is my local supplier. Maybe in most cases, he's not going to be giving me an electronic packing list. So I might have to do it by myself. And I will do that by going back to the incoming shipment. I will edit my incoming shipment. And then I will say export, give me Excel, and export the file. I have my file exported from the supplier. So I need to unprotect it by going to the file menu, and I will come here to permissions, and I'm going to say unprotect. Then I want to save this file, and I will save that. Say for this adapter, I'm going to spread it. The supplier has actually given me till 1. So it's from parcel 1 to 1. You can go, it's from parcel 1 to 2, whichever way you would like. And my weight is 60. My volume is that. And you don't need to fill this information. In fact, what is important is to fill in the parcel, the quantity of the parcel, the from and to, and the weight, what you see in that has asterisks. That's what you need to fill in. Okay, and then you have your item. So you if it had batch number and expiry, you have to come and encode batch number and expiry here on the line level. Mine is not batch number and expiry, and my quantity that I'm going to pack is that one. And I don't fill this one in. This is what this is for AP, the ones that you're getting from APU. So I'm happy with my form. I'm going to say yes, save it. I will click on process, and I will go into my import incoming shipment, and I will go into my Excel file. I will say I am selecting, and I'm going to simulate. And we're going to simulate. As I said, if our file will have errors, it's going to show here in file with errors. It's telling me now that my simulation was 100% done. My status is actually simulation is done. And I can, if I come into my if I look down here, I don't see any information, because this is this will appear if you're working with, if you've come to your, if you are in your If you written things here, like I would say, write manifest this and that, and I went into there, did transport mode C, and I wrote more notes, and I wrote more notes. What I'm doing now on this level would appear then on here. But because I didn't fill it, because it's not necessary for me, it doesn't appear. But the ones that you'll get from APU will have information on that area. So if I go into my details, you will see what I'd ordered for, the quantity, what was the line number, and what are we going to process is full, and that was the price. And if you had done batch number and expiry on your Excel, sheet here, if you had done batch number and I filled in the expiry, then you will also see that here. You'll also see batch number and expiry here. Okay, so what I want to do is, if I just say return to IN, it will not import my file. If I go to import pick and pack, then I'm going to be navigated all the way to the shipment. If I just say print report, it's just going to give me the report of what I've done. So if I say import pick and pack, Unifill is going to give me information. It's going to tell me my incoming shipment has been closed, my picking has been done, my packing has been done, and I have a shipment waiting for me to be processed. So have a look at the messages. So have a look here what we get. So that one is how you do it when you have external supplier. And I want to do now demonstration of how to do when you have an order from APU. And in this case, I myself will fill in the information, but normally you will get the file that looks like this from APU. I will show you a real example from the one I get. This one, we got it from Oracle. So it will just look like this. You have your freight information, your reference, it will pick up what you got from Unifill. And who is your supplier? This is automatic. You'll get it from this from Oracle. It will just appear there. And then if they put a message on the header, and look here, if you have things that are distributed in different boxes and you need to actually do your sequencing properly, you need to make sure that you copy your. This is from APU, so of course you don't modify it. But then if you got it from your local supplier, make sure you have the orange to if things are in different boxes that are unique to themselves, you do it this way as how they did it with Oracle. But it has, of course, the parcels, from which parcel to which parcel. It has a weight. It has a volume. No dimensions of weight, height, and width. And for the items that have batch number, you'll get it from there. Expiry date, quantity, and the packing list reference. Okay. If they put a number for something specific on the line, a message, you will get it the moment you're doing your reception. So because I generated my own incoming shipment, and if I come here and say, I'm just assuming this came from APU freight manifest, and I say transport mode by sea, and I say, and you have your quantity. So here I come, it's just one. And if I come here and write a message, test 1, test 2, and I save this file, and I come to my process area and I do the same thing. I import my incoming shipment, and there it is, and I simulate it. Okay, it was fine. And have a look. You get then your information. So the freight number appears there, transport mode, the notes, the message, and if I come to my details, you see exactly where the comments are also appearing. You see the details of the lines themselves and the messages, the notes at the end of the line on what I'd put on my file. If I say import pick and pack, then it closes my picking, does it automatically. It creates it and it closes my picking. It creates and closes my packing, and it dumps my packing list into the basket of the shipment document that is meant for this project. Because now if I come and I navigate into and I go into my shipment, you can see this packing list has been added to an existing draft shipment 568. And when I open here, I see the one I've done earlier and what I have here. They're ready for me to send. Then I go ahead and I create my shipment and I validate it. And once I synchronize, it goes straight to the project. I process it. I create the shipment, and it came with my weight. I didn't fill the dimensions. And when I validate it, the project will get, of course, the incoming shipment. Yeah, that was it. Anyone has a question?